Okay, so when it comes to entrepreneurship, there's absolutely going to be some doubts and fears and some kind of false beliefs that jump into your head, try to discourage you. So today we're going to talk about what you do to overcome those things, getting them out in the open so that you can write them down and crush them. Let's get started.
You gotta believe, baby.
This is Mikel-Claire.
And this is Trey.
And we are the couple of entrepreneurs. We're here to share with you our journey of successes and setbacks as we enter the world of entrepreneurship now that we no longer have 9-to-5s due to the new normal of the world and the pandemic.
Join us as we race the clock to start earning money, gain consistency, and overcome self-doubts and uncertainty as we search for our voices and obtain personal and financial growth.
So, what's the number one thing, when you first started this whole journey, what was the number one thing that really you felt was like holding you back?
Well, I guess the hardest part to me is just deciding that I can do it. It's one thing to kind of like believe it because it's in your head and you can see yourself going through the whole process of getting it done. And then there's the big step. Like I like to call it my press play. You know, it's deciding to go and get it done right now. I think that is probably the hardest part.
So it's really difficult for you to actually get that train going down the track, so to speak.
Yeah. I remember as a kid, I was in swimming class, and one of the final like big steps for us to conquer was jumping off of like this platform in the swimming pool. And I don't know if you've ever jumped off a platform before, but it's a lot different than jumping off like a regular diving board, right? It's
Definitely.
like it's some serious height up there. And I must have been maybe like about 12 years old. And I was doing all right swimming, and I could jump off of the small diving board. But I was trying to hype myself up, and my swim coach was like, you got to, visualize yourself jumping off and, make sure you don't do something stupid and belly flop and hurt yourself and stuff. But if you can see yourself doing it, you'll be all right. And that sounded great. I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. I could just visualize myself climbing up the ladder, getting to the edge of the platform, jumping, feeling the wind through my hair, and then splashing into the water. And to me, that is kind of like what believing entrepreneurship is. When you're reading all of the books and all of that, you can see yourself actually like doing these impossible type tasks. But then as you're climbing that ladder, the further you start climbing and you look down, you're like, whoa, this is really high. I'm like really up there. And then the real fear comes when you like put your little toes over the edge of that platform and you start looking down. And then all of a sudden, all that kind of like goes out the window for a moment, and it's like, okay, all I got to do is just jump. Yeah, easier said than done. It took some serious convincing from my coach to be like, just jump in. But then once I felt that exhilaration and that real fear of gravity just all of a sudden just saying, peace out to you, Trey, and me hitting the water, everything changed.
Okay, well, I'm still on the fact that you said blow your hair back when you're bald. So,
hey, they don't know just yet.
They don't know. But no, I absolutely agree. That was the perfect scenario, the perfect explanation. So what exactly do you do in those situations? Say you come to something that is an obstacle or a challenge for you. What do you do or say to yourself in order to overcome whatever that may be?
Oh, I can't lie. I'm a person that overstudies and overthinks. I over-prepare. I'm that cat that'll read every book in the world, but then won't take one bit of action. So for me, when I get to that particular point, I just have to do some piece of action, any piece of action. If it's like filling out a form, I just got to at least write my name into the write your name field, something to be like, okay, now we're going. It doesn't have to be chomping down on the whole whale on your first go or attempt at anything. I just grab that whale by the itty bitty tip of his fin and just get a little nibble. That's all. I just need a taste, and then once I get that whale blubber in my mouth, we're good. That's yeah. I went a little far with the whale blubber.
Whale blubber.
I'm a little appalled at myself, actually.
Hey, but I understand where you're going. You just got to do small steps, baby steps, if you will, in order to get the momentum going.
Exactly.
And then once the momentum going and progress starts to happen, then you can kind of say to yourself, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
I got started. That was the hardest part. And now I got to keep the ball rolling.
Well, how about you? I mean, you've got some successes under your belt regarding starting from scratch and then finding success in your own personal endeavors. Like, how in the world were you able to take the first step?
Well, I remember, I was sitting at home. I was looking at my then, I believe, 7-year-old child. And I was thinking to myself, how can I set a good example for him? How can I show him that he doesn't have to depend on other people in order to be successful, in order to make money, in order to live out your passion and not do that under somebody else's umbrella? So I'm looking at him, I'm sitting at the table, and I'm thinking to myself, what is it that I enjoy doing or that I know about that I can turn into a great source of income, or at least enjoy doing it and build on it and enjoy every step of the journey? So then, I took notes. I went to the internet and started doing research. I looked at all the web pages, joined groups, trying to get support in my journey so that I could understand all the intricacies and the ins and out of what it took to actually succeed in what I was doing. So, once I did that, I got in the car, I went down to some of the different state offices to make sure that I had the right licenses and permits in place so that I could make sure that everything I was doing was above board and that, I put everything that I could into it in order to be successful. So once I had that in place, that's when the fun part begins. That's when you actually get to create. That's when you get to actually, talk to people and gain clients and just other people that are in your industry. You can learn from them and talk to them, and that's great support also. So I think for me, I just wanted to really set the example for my son, and I just went all in so that way, he could see that his mom could be successful, and then he in turn could be successful one day.
Yeah, that's great. You said something that resonated, and sometimes in order to get started, you might need like a what's the word I'm looking for? A team, a tribe, so to speak, a group of like-minded individuals to help give you a push in the right direction. Do you think that really holds true? Do you really need a tribe to get started? Is that too much of a distraction? Is it the push that you need? How do you feel about like a group think to get the ball rolling?
I think originally, in order to get the ball rolling, sometimes it's extremely helpful to have a group of like-minded people, especially people that have kind of like blazed the trail before you, so to speak, because they have more information than you may have. They may have tried and failed before, so they may have overcome some of those fears that you have initially when you're starting out. And then they can kind of tell you, hey, don't make that left turn on that road because this is what'll happen. There's a mad big, I just went into my Jamaican voice. There's a mad big obstacle in the way. I don't know where that came from, but there's a mad big, obviously obstacles, maybe Jamaican. There's a mad big obstacle in the way. So you need to turn the other direction. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it's absolutely worth it to be around like-minded individuals. And I mean, do you feel that way? Like in your path that you've taken thus far, which, do you feel that it's helpful, or is it better to kind of do your own thing at first and then maybe seek other people?
Yeah, I do think you need a group of cheerleaders in some capacity. It could be from your family. It could be from a Facebook group. And here's the secret. If you can't find a real person per se that's going to sit there and shake pom-poms for you, honestly, some of the best people that have supported me has been books, because there's people that encourage without judging. A book won't judge you. A book won't question you directly. It'll make you question yourself, but the book won't question you. It's a good attaboy, and you can turn on and off the encouragement by if you just have had enough, you can just close the book and walk away, or if you need more, you can dig a little deeper. So I think encouragement through reading. I am a fan of groups like Facebook groups, and if you go to like meetup spots and stuff, because there is no substitute for like an exchange of energy between two people, or between you and the environment that you're in. And I know it sounds kind of hippie-ish, and I get that, the energy exchange thing, but there is something to be said about being in a room filled with creative people, or in a room filled with hustlers. If there wasn't, you wouldn't see like on Twitter, Jay-Z having like these Rockefeller meetups where these great minds in hip hop and media moguls come together, and they'll charge like $10,000 for a ticket just so you could be a part of it. The reason why they're charging that is because they know that there is a power in that type of thought process and soaking it up. But I also am very leery at times, because being around people and always having to go to groups and always referring to some type of book or Facebook group, it stalls you, and you end up getting, what is it called? Paralysis by analysis. You start overthinking things, and you're not really taking action unless somebody in those groups can hold you accountable. If you can get somebody to hold you accountable in those groups, a book can't hold you accountable, so that's whatever. But if you can find somebody that can hold you accountable, then those groups really pay off.
Well, I think too, I just had a question came up in my mind listening to what you were saying. And also, when you're in a group, does it make you less willing to have your own thoughts, to be independent, to not think outside the box sometimes? I mean, I know that a lot of times there's other people that can kind of give you some good ideas and things like that, but do you think it stalls your own like personal growth and your own ability to move forward with your own ideas and thoughts?
Yeah, that is actually a very excellent point. Absolutely. I think there's an importance to finding your voice in what it is that you do. And what I mean by finding your voice is knowing what your boundaries are, knowing what defines you, knowing the path that you want to take. And if you haven't figured that out yet, and you're going around groups of people that are highly successful or are in the path of being successful, you will take what they say as an absolute law, or in something that's written in concrete. You haven't developed the skill set to take information, analyze it, and see if it fits you. So that is I think that's a very real danger that nobody really even talks about. That's actually really good. All right, well, let's get down to like brass tacks. Let's give the people what they want. What was it that made you overcome the fear of leaving your old job to embark on this whole brave new world with all of this uncertainty?
Well, first of all, let's be 100% real. We are in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be honest, the thought of going to work every day, it's not my main reasoning for leaving my job, but the thought of going to work every day, trying to find a new job with the uncertainty of the health and safety of the world just wasn't appealing to me, to be honest with you. And, at 40 something years old.
But you look good.
Thank you very much. 40 something years old. I've done a lot of personal growth, a lot of introspective thinking in the last couple of years about what my life looks like now, what I want it to look like. And I think I'm more willing and more capable of looking at myself and what it is that I really want out of life, and actually making actions to make those happen. I don't know if it's like a midlife crisis or anything like that, but I mean, I know, you only have so much time. So if not now, then when?
Right.
It's like the clock is kind of ticking.
Okay.
So I think I'm old enough and wise enough to kind of know that, hey, you're absolutely capable of changing whatever it is in your life that you want to change,
right,
regardless of what fear you may have, you know? So I think that was the main thing for me to go ahead and get started. I was looking at the state of the world, and I decided, hey, you're grown. You can make your own decisions. And despite the setbacks, despite the successes, you can, it's on you. You are capable of taking the reins and riding off into the sunset. So, I mean, did you have a similar experience, or what was it for you? Like at this point in your life, at this age in your life, at this stage of the world, what was it for you that you were able to be like, hey, I'm about to start my own business?
Yeah. It was a lot. One is just being a responsible adult. One, because it's like, okay, well, I got to get a job. I've got to earn. But to what end? That's the thing that kept rattling along in my head. It's like, what am I willing to sacrifice in order to earn income? And in case you don't know, I have lived a life that has been on my own terms for 20 plus years. I've been technically like self-employed. So the leap wasn't as dramatic and shocking as it may be for some people. What was shocking and dramatic was not having a safety net. In my old profession, I used to work in the movie industry, and anytime I wanted to change positions within that industry, the industry itself was a safety net. So I could change hats, but still be in the movie business. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. The difference is when I left and I came to a place where that safety net wasn't there, whatever it is I did, I had to stick with, because I can't just change hats quickly and still sustain myself. So there was a real fear. There was a fear of, if I mess this up, there is no real other plan B. Everything's going to kind of like fall on me. So I was terrified, to be perfectly honest, but I also realized that I had developed a type of lifestyle that I was not willing to give up. And this was the cost that I was battling with myself for what am I willing to pay for gainful employment. And the biggest cost to me was having a boss. I haven't had a boss since I've been like 20 years old, and I didn't want to trade in what I thought was a piece of my soul to have to answer to somebody. But like I said, I didn't have that safety net anymore. So that card was on the table unless I did something drastic. So the drastic step that I took was actually taking action towards finding an alternative, looking into internet marketing as a way of making myself self-sufficient and only answering to myself. But the fear is still there, lingering in the back. It's not in the up front, because I have confidence in myself to know that this can be done, but I still can't see over the bend. I can't see over the horizon of success to see how it all ends. And that can cause me to be a little anxious. All right. So I think that's about a wrap for this particular episode. I want to get over my fear of talking too long. We're already getting close to the 20-minute mark, and it's time to shut it down. Our next episodes are definitely going to be a little bit more uplifting, hopefully, but the real realities of what it means to become an entrepreneur is facing your fears, overcoming it, and then moving forward. So we've gotten over one thing, and that is admitting our fear regarding this new endeavor.
That's right. I think everybody has, some things to look forward to in our upcoming podcasts. We definitely want to make sure that you understand that this is a journey. There will be obstacles, there will be setbacks and successes, but join us on our journey so that you can kind of learn how to move past things as they come up in your journey as well.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely well said. Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw this official peace sign up in the air. This is Trey Murphy.
And Mikel-Claire.
And thank you for tuning in, and we will see you soon.